Good morning, Sprinkled Donuts. Kevin, good morning. I hope the audio is good. Juicy Jules, hello from Colorado. Pippadot, good morning. Is the audio okay? I am having a plethora of technical issues. Colleen Ellis, good morning. Audio is good for Pippadot. Good. Deborah Green, good morning, Deborah. I have no idea. It's one of those things where I did a software update yesterday because Microsoft said I needed to update. So I did the update and nothing has worked right since then. At first, it tried to switch me from Chrome to Bing. I switched back and then nothing has worked. I cannot get Google to, for some reason to work, communicate with my streaming software. It just like it acts like it's not there at all. Last night for membership live stream, I couldn't get the audio to work. I had to shut everything down and restart it all, and then the audio came back. But later on, when I was trying to film a video, I had no audio, no cameras, nothing, and it wouldn't work at all when I tried to, connect the devices to the actual computer. Microsoft, yeah, yeah, you never know what's going to happen. But Neil say I can't bring up the the past week's crime recap. It won't work. It won't connect at all. Kitiku, good morning, Kitiku. Let's see. Least I can do is read you serial killer this day in history. December. December 16th. Jacobus Dirk Hertogs, The Hague 16th, December 1949 through July 19th, 2015. Convicted Dutch serial killer. He was convicted for a total of 3 murders in August of 2012. The writer and psychologist Patrick Omens published the book De Zakke Koos H, in which he questions Koos H being the serial killer and concluded that he doesn't fit the profile. According to Omens, that would have shed another light on the case, and the writer conjectures that the whole case of Koos H has been characterized as a cover-up in connection with the Galdo with respect to be befriended psychiatrist. The writer claims to have discovered that the ex-wife, a Stolk, wasn't a psychiatrist at all, but in reality was the first female plot in the pilot in the Netherlands who transformed the Dutch royal family in the early 1950s. So that is December 16th in the serial killer calendar. Don't have much to offer beyond that. Just say hello to everybody. Rihanna. Good morning, Rihanna. Running around crazy. Holidays are here. It's a time when people get overstressed. Everywhere, people are losing their minds. I was in the grocery store last night. It's insane. I saw 2 women fighting over a sweater. Plain Jane sweater, no design on it, but fighting over a sweater. Apparently, it was 25% off. Well, I had it first. One lady kept on screaming at the lady. Well, you set it down. I'm sitting at the school waiting for my kiddo to get back from her law debate. Ooh. Good morning, Reichart and Inner Peas. Welcome to this morning's coffee brew. I can't pull up the cases that I've been watching and following this past week. I'm having technical difficulties like there's no tomorrow. I got to figure this out because I can't even get anything to pull up for for trivia or anything for tomorrow. For some reason, Google is not communicating with my streaming software. And if I can't get them to communicate, what am I going to just do? Is sit here and look at the screen? Hi, everyone. This is the question that I can't pull up. So hopefully I can get my daughter to stop by today and figure it out. Tons of stuff here in Colorado. Mike Stevens, Allah Akbar. We can chat about anything. We definitely can. Speakers, why service dogs and support animals are different and why it should be recognized more, pretty much. Well, it's all right, Pippadot. I can't figure it out. I spent close to 10 hours yesterday trying to figure out after I did the update what the hell changed and why nothing will connect. I've done everything I can think of on my end. Now I have to wait for my daughter to show up and see if she can figure it out because she's my technical support. Yeah, it as crazy as this sounds, I spend my entire my existence right now, my livelihood and everything is on the internet, but I couldn't tell you how to do anything. If somebody told me I had to replace a ribbon cable on a hard drive, I know there's a hard drive in there. I know there's most likely a ribbon cable, but I wouldn't know how to do it. I was watching True Crime Show the other day and saw where a young man was murdered on the Appalachian Trail in 1974, and comes to find out he was from a little town here in South Carolina. Wow, Appalachian Trail. That's one. It's on my bucket list of places to see before I start pushing up daisies, as some people would say. Amy M. That's being inflammatory, and you know it. God is great. Allah Akbar. That I don't think Mike said anything else. To each their own. We all have the right innate right to practice whatever religion we want. I know people who worship the Norse gods. I know people who worship a science fiction writer and think that he was right about everything. Damn. Who am I to say who's right and who's wrong? Come to Paris, Texas, Will. You just won't see the Eiffel Tower here. I have never been to Paris, Texas. I've been all over the damn state of Texas, though. Who are Sunday's trivia on? I haven't even looked at the community tab. It's the DC Sniper, Mulville and Mohammed. The two DC, or otherwise known as the Beltway Snipers, but they're more known as the DC Snipers. But DC and Beltway Sniper. Crazy Loons, L. Ron Hubbard. Well, I know this much. I don't want to call him a crazy loon, Pippadot, but a lot of what L. Ron Hubbard was writing about he was trying to self-diagnose his mental health issues. And whenever I talk about L. Ron Hubbard, a lot of people really don't put faith in it. You can't say that he's crazy, but he was definitely a rambling fool. That, I mean, I'm sorry, but he was. If anybody's just sat down and read some of his actual writings before Dianetics, anything before Dianetics and all that crap came out, but it's amazing that somebody would say, yeah, you know what, we should form a church around this. But to each their own. To each their own. I like that one, Inner Peace. God loves you even if you love Bullhorn Betty. Yeah, he was. I've met some, that's one of the great things about, doing what I do. I've met some very interesting people over my lifetime through, YouTube and other social media platforms, researching crime and talking about crime cases. And I never would have met any of you people, if it wasn't for this platform. And I'm extremely thankful for it because everything that it keeps the mind going. You learn how people's lives and what makes them tick, and what motivates them to want to do things, in their lives. I think it's great. Sometimes I jump into live streams on completely random subject matter, and I just sit back and read the comments and listen to whoever is what they're talking about, the subject matter, and how interested are they in that actual subject matter. How much do they really believe in that subject? You can learn a lot just by reading. And Mike wrote, I don't understand why people hate on certain YouTube creators. I have enough people in real life to hate. That's kind of along the lines of what George Carlin said. He didn't understand racism because there's more than enough reasons to hate people on an individual basis. Yeah, I don't understand it either. You don't like the message, you don't like what that person's doing or how they carry themselves or what they're talking about. Fine, don't watch it. I mean, I tell people that all the time about my content. If you don't like me and you don't like what I have to say, you have more than enough right to turn the page off and move on to something else. I mean, I'm never going to make the the top 10 list of of creators that people trust the most or anything else, but I'm me. I'm going to give you my side of it. Cray cray 420. 420 somewhere. What are we recapping? Cray cray. I wish I could. I'm having technical issues where I can't pull up anything from this past week. I normally put together a slideshow of cases that I've either researched or have done videos about this past week. I can't pull up any of it because my streaming software will not connect to Google at all. It won't let me bring up any slides. So I'm sorry about that. So to answer your question, we're not recapping anything. We're just having a conversation about anything and everything underneath the sun. I don't hate any YouTube creators. Well, there's more than enough reason not to. And good morning, Vicky. Welcome to this morning's recap. Everyone's call it coffee brew. Get yourself a cup of coffee or tea or whatever beverage you like to drink. Got a couple people in here I think may have already hit the Irish whiskey a little early, but hey, I'm not judging them. I don't know what time it is there. I mean, depending on where you are in the world, it might be evening time. I actually watched a documentary on TV the other day. I hardly ever watch TV. It was about the conjuring the devil on trial. It was good. Hmm. Good morning, Alma. How are you doing, sweetheart? I hope you've been doing well. I have not seen that one about conjuring the devil, but I did read a lot about the lawsuit on the Satanic Church. That's what they call them, but they don't call themselves that. That's what the media kept on calling them, was the Satanic Church, who was fighting a First Amendment, and the rules. So this is, I'll give you the outline of it. What the school system had done is they had given a church group a section of the actual school to use before school and after school for prayer sessions, and during basketball and baseball and track meets they were allowed to have a certain area of the school to pray in to carry on their religious practices. But at the same time, that same school system told other religions that were non Christian they couldn't have access or a space in the school. So the Satanic Club said, hey, we want access to it. And they denied them. And they kept on denying them over and over again. So the separation of church and state, they looked at it and they said, if you're not going to give us space like you give these other people space in the school, we're going to sue you. And they did, and they won. I mean, really. I think they had like 3 members or 3 kids that were interested in the Satanic Club. But I mean, they don't even believe in necessarily the devil. And then if you read their actual bylaws, you have to learn about the actual satanic, group itself. But saying that someone is a Satanist, people hear that and people are like, whoa, I don't want Satanists in my school around my, impressionable children. But yet you hand them a cell phone every day and you let them carry this thing in their pocket. You're worried about a group of maybe 3 students at school. That scares the hell out of you. But yet you let them have this. I don't understand. Like some people think, why? And when you dig into the entire thing, it basically came down to, if you're going to give this group the right to practice their religion in school, you have to make accommodations for other groups. How about Muslims? How about Jewish? How about other Hindus or other groups? Forget the satanic group. How about all these other groups that you're excluding from being able to practice their religion at the school? And that's the law. You have, if you give one the right, you have to give others the right to be able to practice there as well. Lamont too. It's not him. Lamont at Large. I watched Lamont at Large, Lamont on the Run, and Fascinating Graveyards. Those 3. I used to watch Black Bigelow, but I don't want to watch that one anymore. I'm not even sure if he even puts content on that one. That's how long it's been. Try to read the Bible, but it's like I cannot get this thing to scroll down. It'll scroll up, but it won't scroll down. No. You give and take. It's part of life. It definitely is, Rycart. The poor child suffered so badly. Basis have claimed calmed down. The restream name is over the top of the words calm down and has been fine. It's Graveyard Visitations that's actually dropping his views right now. You watch the other cemetery channels. Well, I mean, in cemetery channels, if I'm going to watch that, I watch Hollywood Graveyards. I love that channel, Hollywood Graveyard. But yeah, Lamont, his graveyard, tours, yeah, they're interesting because he gives you a backstory about the individual sometimes. Um, I don't know if he's really hurting because of the content that he's putting out right now. I think well, Lamont on the run, he's still trying to figure out what he's going to do about it. Is it going to be all about dissing other people who do dumb things, who are other like other creators? Fine. There's a spot for that on the internet. There's a spot for that on YouTube. There's a lot of other channels that do that. That is all 100% drama, and a lot of people will pay and subscribe to watch that. And and then there's his other content. He gave me a shout out on I think it was Lamont on the Run. He was visiting a or it could have been at large, but he was visiting the Bucky's gas station. He actually put my logo and everything on and gave me a shout out on the channel. That was pretty cool for him to do that. That was when I was covering Jared Lasik, the dumbass who he has a court date coming up. I think it's next week, just before or just before or after Christmas. I'd have to look at my notes again. I like Faces, but haven't watched it in a while. Love Hollywood Graveyards. I do too. Hollywood Graveyards is very good. I like it when Hollywood Graveyards when he does submissions from fans who visit graves in other parts of the world where he can't get to. I got a fascinating graveyard I would love to go and visit, and I think every one of you guys would. This actual grave and grave marker is phenomenal. You've never seen anything like it in your entire life. I've never seen anything like it in my entire life. But it's about 125 miles from where I am right now, and hopefully in 2024, in the summertime, maybe May, June-ish, I'm hoping to actually get there. I want to do a video of this grave and the individual about the individual who's in the grave. It's Lamont would be shocked at who's in this grave and the headstone, all of it. So hopefully I can do that. Will that 15-year-old boy who was starved to death? Oh, you're talking about the case out it was at Florida with a university professor, Deborah. And that one that came across my university professor who starved a little boy. They also kept him in a cage. But that was one of the stories that came across my desk this past week. Lamont is your favorite? I like Lamont. I've known who Lamont is a lot longer than I've ever been on YouTube though. I have a connection to through my family to actually Lamont in a job that Lamont used to have. Well, what was saying to Mike is that the channel Graveyard Visitations is actually dropping his viewers if you watch any other cemetery channels. Oh, okay. I hate Bucky's travel stops because they don't allow us 18 wheelers to park there. Well, there's always Love's truck stops, Reichart. Susan, good morning. My brother's friend is a lawyer. Well, not close friend, more friends back in youth. Oh. One of my best friends is a lawyer. He is currently a district court judge, but he does do wills and probate and stuff like that outside of being a sitting judge. That's the only legal he does right now, because otherwise the case could get called out in front of him, and he can't exactly do the will or the probate or the living trust and then have it be set on the calendar in front of him. Just sad because Bucky's offers so much. Bucky's is like a Walmart with a whole lot of gas station, checkouts. I've been to a couple Bucky's myself. Uh, I understand why so many people are infatuated with it. I mean, it's like a giant store, with everything in it, and you can get gas. The only reason why I ever stop at them and when I'm traveling is because there's so many different islands you can get in and out. You don't have to wait for somebody else to free up a pump. There's so I don't know how many damn pumps that are at some of those. Loves and Flying J shouldn't allow four wheelers to park there either, like Bucky's doesn't. Was in Michigan. His name was Timothy Ferguson, and the mother was convicted. Her name was Sandra Van Ark. Oh, okay, Amy. Must be another case. Unfortunately, the one that I came across my desk this past week was about a boy in Florida, and the father was or is a university professor in Gainesville, and he had actually locked the little boy in a cage and starved him to death because I guess he kept on wetting the bed or something. I'd have to look at the story again. I have it in my saved file, which I can't access. I can't access anything. I can't access the cloud. Anything that's stored in the cloud, I can't access the Google Slides, and that all of the trivia for tomorrow is on the cloud and on Google Slides and Google Presentation, but I can't access it. So, like I said, I got to get my daughter to get in, to get in here, and access it for me and figure out what the hell's going on with it. I know Kitiku think about it. Who would ever drop and be ugly to their viewers? I promise you, I would not lie about this. He sent me a text telling me he was dropping me. Oh, well, I wonder who that was, but that's pretty awful. Why you do that? Good morning, Mal. I hope you're having a wonderful morning. Cryptic door that made him famous. The cryptic door. Sorry, not cryptic. All right, so again, where the chat is right here, up at the top right hand corner, where it says restream, the actual comment starts like Pipitops right now is at the absolute top, just above the word restream, and then the rest of it runs through the actual restream itself. It's got to be a formatting, issue. How I have it formatted on the screen. I probably have to narrow it down, top, bottom, sides. All of this worked last week. One update, one Microsoft update, and the whole damn thing goes to shit. Okay, got to drive home now, but I'm still listening. All right, Kitty Q, you drive safe. Don't do anything crazy. Do not get in one of those high speed chases with the law enforcement or something. I know you're not going to do that, but I know you like fast cars. Don't drive fast. Good morning, Gayla. Welcome to this morning's coffee brew. Unfortunately, I am unable to connect to anything that has to do with Google, so I can't do the recap. Hopefully, get it fixed today. Gotta wait for my daughter to come by. Will, do you think that you'll be able to do Sunday trivia? Pippadot, everything. I've got it scheduled right now, but I can't access anything from Google Cloud or anything from Google. It will not connect to my streaming software. And without the streaming software, the other half of it. So get over here so you can actually see both hands. Without the Google being able to connect this, Google to the software, there's no way I can do the trivia. But I have the trivia right here. Yeah, I'm not going to show you all the cheat sheet, but I have it. I'm hoping. Let's just cross our fingers, knock on wood, and do all that stuff. That actually I'll get my daughter to actually fix whatever the hell it is. I spent 3 hours in Bucky's. Wow. Why would you spend 3 hours in Bucky's, Pippadot? Like Walmart, hug. Over 100 pumps. Do they have the same amount of pumps at every one of the Bucky's? I just know they have an ungodly amount of gas pumps. Who is the trivia about, Susan Weaver? Sunday's trivia is about the DC snipers. That is. Get the paper here. John Allen Mohammed and Lee Boyd Malvo. They were also known as the Beltway snipers. And in case the idea of a sniper hiding in a car sounds familiar to you, it has been extensively redone on several different crime shows, like Law and Order covered it, SVU covered it, Criminal Minds did an episode about it. But when that one is the outlier of it all. But when Criminal Minds did the reenactment, the episode about it, it was about one man who was in a car who was taking people out, as opposed to the other ones that were covered by Law and Order and other shows where it was two people. Because in real life, it was two people. It was John Allen Mohammed and Lee Boyd Malvo. Malvo. But that is who Sunday's trivia is about. Good morning. Try not to say kazap. Kaz 65. Good morning and welcome to this morning's coffee brew. We are getting rain here. You're getting rain where you are, Pippadot. Oh, this has been the most. We just set a record this past Saturday. The most rain that we've gotten in this area in I think it was like 30 years or something like that. Where I live in what's called a semi-desert or high plateau desert, but I don't know why they call it a high plateau. But it has the same fauna as a high plateau desert. But when it rains, and if it rains a lot, the ground cannot absorb it fast enough, because normally it just runs right through it. But you get to a certain threshold where the water can't be absorbed into the ground anymore. Gayla wants to go to Bucky's. Hey, is Malvo still in jail? Mike asks. I do not know right in front of me, Mike, what the answer to that is. I would have to actually look it up. I remember the DC sniper as well, says Pippadot. A dupe? Yes and no. He was definitely talked into it over his rhetoric. So that definitely played into it, Mike. But he definitely went along with it. A couple of the earlier shootings where no one died, those were definitely done by Malville. But we need snow. Have some, but for all the tourists need more. Oh, are you in Colorado? That's where my sister lives, is in Colorado. But they need snow there where she is. But I'm in Paris, Texas right now. I've never been to Paris, Texas. I've been all over the great state of Texas in my lifetime, but never to Paris, Texas. Utah. You're in Utah. Okay. Well, need it probably for skiing. and outdoor recreation. You've never been to one, Gala? Gala, think of it as a Walmart store with, I guess, from what somebody else posted here, like 100 gas aisles where you can pump your gas. I don't know if it's that many, but it's a hell of a lot of gas islands. Um, and Rykard posted earlier. Rykard doesn't like Bucky's because they won't allow them to park their 18 wheelers there. But they always go to, like you said, Flying J's or Love's. Sunny, a high of 67 today in Sacramento. Here it's going to be 49 degrees according to the weather thing on the taskbar at the bottom of my screen. It's going to be 49 degrees. It runs like on a ticker, so I'm waiting to see what the chance of precipitation is. Don't care about the barometric pressure and all this stuff. That's what's rolling by right now. 10% chance of rain. Set me to know about this Bucky's and the parking. Makes me think twice about giving them my business. It's not that bad. I mean, yeah, it's definitely an issue if you're a ride card and you need to fill up with gas and you can't go there. What is Bucky's? A fast food thing? No, it's 65. It's a giant gas station, and it's a franchise. They're all over the damn place. But um, where you are, you might maybe you have two, maybe four islands of gas, with gas pumps, two sections, so there's two pumps on each one. Bucky's has got like 100 different gas pumps, and then inside there's a store, and they sell everything from fresh food, merchandise. You can buy, like 50 different kinds of jerky. It's all fresh made jerky. You can buy ribs and burgers and fries and you name it, drinks. It's a huge gas station. They'll be on my boycott list if I ever come across one. I'm supporting Right Card. See what she did, Right Card? Now everybody's going to boycott them. It's worth going to it at least once. I mean, it's easy to get in and out of if you're paying at the pump. Pay at the pump, boom, get your gas, and you can leave. I mean, that's the only reason why I've ever been to one. I think I went inside once and bought like something to drink, but huge gas station. Oh, I mean massive. In my area, we don't we have like one Flying J gas station that's in another town over. Uh, what's the we have a lot of pick a pop. They're called pick a pop. It's a bygone era of they don't even have the pick a pop anymore, but they're still pick a pop stores. That I'm probably dating myself on this one a lot. So there's a guy here in my area. He had a franchise of gas stations, and they're all called Pick a Pop. And this is how the store ran. I mean, it's just a regular convenience store gas station. All right. So picture that, maybe eight gas pumps at the each place, two islands, 4 and 4. So you could buy natural gas, like refill, like your Blue Rhino, net for your barbecue grill, gas. Inside, all the accoutrements, alcohol, cigarettes, stuff like that. But they had a section in the back. It was called Pick a Pop. So you would go in and they had glass bottles, and you could say, I will take 10 limes, 4 orange, 3 root beer, 2 colas, and you get them all in a cardboard box. You picked your own pop. They didn't sell Pepsi or Coke or anything else. They sold their own variety, and right there, you could watch them fill the bottles and cap them. as you actually ordered them. Pick a pop. Now, all that pick a pop is long gone. So now it's all been replaced by your Pepsis, your Coca Colas, your iced coffees and stuff like that in cans. But for the longest time, in this area, that's what they were. But they still all have the name Pick a Pop on the gas thing, but they're all Conoco gas stations. They were Phillips 76 stations at one point. We seem to spend all out of our lives buying stuff. Well, that's the world that they want us to live in. They want us to be consumers. Consume. Kirikou got home safe. All right. You had to see it to believe it. I'm just upset at all the places that won't let Reichardt park there in his truck. Yeah. Travel. I love loves and travel stops. I drive up and down. Well, I haven't in the last 4 years. I haven't traveled because of COVID and all that other crap that came up. But I travel up and down 90, I-90, I-95 a lot. Those are the major highways. And then on the West Coast, I-5 and 405. Oh, it lost me on Pipita. I prefer small gas stations. My uncle still owns gas stations in and around the St. Paul, Minnesota area, but I mean they're like two gas pumps at each one. They're just tiny gas stations. They used to be all Sinclair gas stations. That's the one with the big green dinosaur. But they're now independent. Um, I think they're with Exxon. They sell Exxon gas, but they're all independent stores now. But they were at one time Sinclair's. My His dad bought them up during the oil embargo in what 76. Their gas stations were failing left and right, and he started snagging them up for pennies on the dollar. But he's got the last time I talked to him, which was just before Thanksgiving, I think he said he had 10 stores. Remember those when you were a kid? They're still around, Kiddickoo. They're still out there. They're just not with that gasoline anymore. I think he said they're all Exxons. But yeah, Sinclair gas stations. It's your birthday? Well, everyone, let's sing Gayla happy birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gayla. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sweetheart. Now give me your snickerdoodle recipe. And many more. Excuse me. You bring snickerdoodles to CrimeCon? You know what's awful is my mother-in-law lives 2 blocks from me. She will make me an entire prime rib, and potatoes and the whole fixings and everything else, but I can't get her to make me snickerdoodles. I get my daughter is an awesome baker. She makes pies and cookies all the time, but she'll not make me snickerdoodles. Neither one of them. My daughter calls them basic bitch cookies. I'm like, isn't that a sugar cookie? She goes, what the hell do you think a snickerdoodle is? I'm sure if I really get them to talk about it, if I really work at it, I probably get them to make them. But it's more of a joke in my household now than anything else. It's like, where's my snickerdoodle? My daughter loves making cookies from Snoop Dogg's cookbook. Yeah, can you all hear me? I have no idea why that message is showing up on there. Is the audio still there? Yes. All right. I have no. I have a message on my screen right now in the top right corner, right next to the restream. It says audio will be disconnected. I have no idea. My daughter makes awesome snickerdoodles, but her pie is the best. Now, this week my daughter will be making pumpkin pies, cherry, and strawberry rhubarb. We always have every year. We always do 2 things. Like we have a certain menu for Thanksgiving. We have another menu for Christmas dinner. And at Christmas dinner, we always have strawberry rhubarb pie and pumpkin pie. But she's making cherry as well because that was a request by some of the other family members. But she'll be making pies this week. Can't wait. I can't believe it's already what, the 16th of December. Yeah, December 16th already. The year just feels like it went by like that. You've never been to Paris, Texas, and you're from Texas? I'm drinking snickerdoodle coffee and baked chocolate chip cookies. Ooh, gooseberry. We don't have gooseberries around here where I am at, Suzanne. I love gooseberries by themselves. Your brother gets every year from your daughter. Wow, that's so cool. We don't have gooseberries around here. I mean, that would be great. A gooseberry pie. But for I was talking about the menu for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So at Thanksgiving, we always do turkey and ham for Thanksgiving. For Christmas, we do ham and a roast for the main protein, I guess. And then Christmas dinner is a lot more of like potluck style, where each family that comes brings like a side dish. So it's a lot less stress for me. But my mother-in-law is back in town, so she's here to help me. She'll be here. We're gonna both go grocery shopping later today. Ham and roast, yum! It is. I'll probably make a prime rib, probably about a 10-pound prime rib. And then the ham, I already have it. One of those Virginia smoked hams. It's in the refrigerator out here in the garage or studio, just outside my studio. I'm ordering Christmas shopping delivery, whiskey, vodka, babe, baby ham, beer, tobacco, cat food, scented candles, and a few veggies just in case I get visitors. There you go. That's a hell of a menu. We purposely and this is just for my family. It doesn't have to be for everybody else's, but we don't allow anything more than a little bit. Will at Christmas dinner will allow a little bit of wine, but we at Thanksgiving, no way is anybody allowed to drink alcohol. We well, there's a couple who are severe alcoholics where we do allow them to go outside away from everybody and they can drink because we don't want them going into DTs while they're here. Yeah, you can't pick your family, right? But we alcohol is like adding gasoline to a fire. So we try to limit that to as much as possible when we have family gatherings. One of your daughters always makes Stouffer's lasagna with a salad and garlic bread for Christmas dinner. That's that. Sherry, good morning. I'm sorry if I missed you earlier. I hope you're having a wonderful day and welcome. Excuse me. That sounds good. Lasagna and garlic bread for Christmas dinner. Oh, and pies. Ooh, that sounds yummy. It does. My mother-in-law makes oh my gosh, she makes a lasagna just by looking at it. I swear I gained like 10 pounds just by looking at it. It's not she her see that's something a lot of people don't realize about Americans is the lasagna that is served here in America is a bastardized version of what real lasagna is. So, but my mother-in-law makes a real authentic Italian uh, lasagna, and it doesn't have um, it's I think it's like 11 layers of pasta and meat and cheese, but it doesn't have no. It's got a one layer. She puts spinach in the middle, fresh spinach leaves. But besides that, it's just basically just meat and noodles. Oh, my ex-in-laws were like that. It was painful. Hmm. You want for all that day. Yeah. My Italian in-laws make a veggie lasagna, salad, homemade rolls for Christmas dinner. My mother-in-law, Gayla, makes all the rolls and bread from scratch. She makes wheat rolls and sourdough. The sourdough rolls and bread, the starter of it go back to the Ottoman Empire for the sourdough starters. And but she makes all the rolls and bread every year for well, me and my wife have been married 26 years. So 26 years she's always made them for Thanksgiving and Christmas and they're so good. Oh gosh. I can't wait to have some more. We didn't get any for Thanksgiving because she was out of town. So we had King's Hawaiian rolls. My husband watches Christmas Story all day. It's pure torture. The Christmas Story. I could probably watch it once. Oh, she's a gem. Yes, she is. She's a keeper. But the Christmas Story all day long. I could watch it maybe once. We have we'll put on the football game. You know, so we'll watch over in the living room. People will be watching football, but then we all gather around the table and talk, and actually it's not just one table; it's three dining room tables end to end. So got a lot of people. So for Christmas dinner, we were counting on. I think originally the count was 10, but I think we're up to 14 now. So it's a lot less than Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving we had 22 that were here all day, and then we had 5 or 6 that kind of popped in at dessert or whatever, and then off the work they went. But it's more about getting together and even if nothing else, just being together. My hubby makes different breads, cinnamon rolls, and pizza from scratch. Mm, cinnamon rolls sounds good, like the Cinnabon cinnamon rolls. I'm sure that your hubby's cinnamon rolls are probably a lot better than a Cinnabon. We used to have Cinnabon here, but they're long gone. Just like Farrell's. Y'all, has anybody been to a Farrell's ice cream parlor? We used to have Farrell's here, and we used to have A&W, but A&W is now A&W and KFC in one. But years when my granddaughter is at her dad's, we go watch movies at the theater. Hmm. He should be in the kitchen cooking and helping wash dishes. Oh, someone's in trouble. But Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor, we used to celebrate all of our birthdays and special events at Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor. But they're not in this. They're still around. They're just not in this area. That's they call it progress, right? All the the larger chain stores have taken over. Sprinkled Donuts, Farrell's was the place. Yeah, but now everything if you want to go out to eat, the large chains have taken over everything, um, and they'll put like a mom and pop name on it, but it's still the same franchise, as a national chain. My neighbor girl was killed in Farrell's ice cream parlor when an airline hit the building way back in 1971. Wow. Why can't I see Gemma's comments again? I don't know. I Reichardt, is Gemma here in the chat? I haven't seen her comments either. That is horrible. Is Farrell's in the Northeast? Yeah, Susan, you probably have to Google it, to see where they're at. I know that there's some in California still, but I don't know where they're at. You interpeas, you haven't seen Gemma either. Yeah, I don't know why you're not seeing them, Reichardt. I didn't know she was here. I haven't seen her comments. Hopefully she's not. Pipidot can't see Gemma either. Maybe hopefully Gemma isn't blocked or blocked herself. I mean, I haven't blocked her. She was in the members chat last night with well, it was only 3 people that showed up in that for that, but she was there for a little bit last night. It basically the members only live stream came down to just basically me and Sherry. But Gemma was there for a little bit. In Sacramento by the old airport, she was at a birthday party, only 4 years old. That's so sad. Gemma. What did I say? Did I say Gemma again? Like guh? I'm sorry. I keep on doing that to her. We lost her and Gone Girl last night. Yeah. I keep on doing that. I'm terrible at that inner piece. I know it. I know what I'm supposed to say, but every time I see a G, I always pronounce it, G. Look what Inner Peace says. It's pronounced Gemma. Yeah, yeah, Pippadot. I know. She gave up on correcting you. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I really am. But I'm happy that Sherry was there last night in the live stream. I keep on doing these members only live streams, for Patreon and for members of, channel members, here on YouTube. Last 5 times I've done it, no one showed up or one person did, and they just sat in the chat and didn't say a damn thing. At least I think it's a person. It could be one of those bots, for Restream, that post like, those stupid little poll and questions. It could be that the bot itself that is counting as one. But I'll thank a Pippadot. Used to put a gem to tell you how to say it. Yeah. And then I keep on saying Gemma instead of Gemma. Well, I mean, okay. CAZP65. I have always, for some reason, every time I see it, I always want to say Kazap. It's not Kazap. I know that. But that's another one. That's just me and my stupid brain. I don't know why I do it. Like you look at a. You see like a word and you know what it is. You read it correctly, but then it's like the connection between the brain and the mouth. It gets lost. It's just like I don't know, but I do it. But then other names I'll get right 100% of the time. We all have our things. Well, yeah, interstate, that's inner peas. Hmm. Interstate. You're exactly the same, right, Cart? Like we all have those little quirks in our lives. And I don't mean anything, negative from doing it. Just for some reason, in my mind, I see a name, and I got a friend who uses a screen name. It's Mulvaney. But his last name is not Mulvaney. It's actually Smith. But he likes to stand up comic Mulvaney. So he uses the name Mulvaney, and he uses the icon, picture of Mulvaney. But every time I see it, I can never say the word Mulvaney. I was like a mole. But I mean, I mole instead of I flip the letters in there. And no, I'm not dyslexic. For some reason I always mispronounce it the wrong way. Mispronounce it, and I have to tell myself, stop, pause, look at it again, say it right. It's Mulvaney. I was called pig for several years because of your work. That's just That's just wrong in so many different ways, Gayla. I think we all see words like that. Well, it's our brains. Yeah, it's all that matters. So thank you, Interpeas. I'll get it right. Even if I have to make a giant poster and put it on the other side of the camera with a picture of a gem and then her name. I never understood where the name pig came from. Yeah, for the connection to law enforcement. I, Pigs are cute, but Gala, that's a terrible word to call you. Yeah, it is. People are stupid. Where did pig come from? Exactly, Kitty Q. I don't know. Someone should probably Google that and find out. Never understood that yourself either. Um, well, when I was younger, a younger child growing up, someone who was in law enforcement, yeah, they were a copper. Everybody called them coppers or copper. Called that. I'm tired now, Pippa Dot. Yeah, it's still wrong, Gala. My father-in-law, he was in law enforcement for close to 40 years. He's still even now he's retired. He's still you wouldn't know the difference. He still acts the same way. Copper is a precious metal, right? I think the copper name actually comes from the color of their badges. Good morning, Ginger. Just have to practice saying it a bunch before it's time, and you're on the spot. Your neural pathways for speaking the word are carved out in the mispronunciation from the prior oral repetition. So thank you, Ginger, and good morning to you. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. That's absolutely true. I would definitely put a lot of weight on that. It's probably exactly what it is. You see certain words that maybe there's two words that are close to each other, in origin, or they could be mean totally different things. But you see one and you say it all the time and you read it all the time, but and you say it all the time, and then there's another one that looks the same, but you don't pronounce that one the correct way. Rock and roll groups began that pig to cops trend, did they? Hmm. Started in England in the early 1900s. It was a term people do not like. Hmm. I don't know if you guys can hear that. That's my neighbor who just started up his truck. Even with all the sound deadening material in these walls, and you can hear that truck start up. So sorry if that annoys you. It's a big ass diesel. I'm against any type of name that calling the people. Yeah, some names are endearing and other ones are derogatory. I'm against any derogatory titles or names for certain individuals or occupations. I've had a hard time with the word rule. Too many R's. R. R says Captain. bullying must go. All right, so since I have you all here, I tried to answer a question the other day, and I didn't have the answer to it. And you would think that when I tell you the question, that I would actually know the answer to this. Yesterday, after someone who is a subscriber who was almost never in the live chat, in live streams, asked me, where in the hell did the mountain lion reference come from that we always drop the mountain lion, in a Yugo on map? Where did the mountain lion start from? They had a couple guesses at it, but they were watching some of my older live streams. This is another creator who is in a completely different genre, who is watching my live streams to critique them and tell me how I can make them better. And he thinks it's absolutely hilarious about the mountain lion thing. But where did it come from? And I didn't even know the answer to that. It just, as far as I know, we've always just joked around about it. Mountain lions, Yugos, and meth on the live stream. But where did it start? One of y'all probably is the person who started it too. My father called my daughter dearest, and I missed that. Barry Morphew, right? That was what my guess was. And where it all started with mountain lions and Barry Morphew. That was my guess. But he was like, is it because of the age of, and there's a mountain lion, a cougar in your chat? Is that where it started from? I was like, I can't remember. It doesn't really matter, but it's just I just didn't have a quick answer for it, and you'd think I would. Can I take the credit for starting it? You most certainly can, Earpiece. I mean, that was my guess. It was Barry Morphew. So, I mean, if that's how it started, then I guess I had the answer. I just wasn't sure. Because we had last week we had somebody ask us about it too. It's funny, no matter where it came from. That's true. Mountain lions, Yugos, and meth, and don't forget we pick on the Jersey Shore quite a bit too. Mountain lions, Yugos, meth, and the Jersey Shore. Thumbs up. Don't forget to give this morning stream a thumbs up if you liked it. I'm sorry that again, the Jersey Shore episode of South Park is hilarious. All the there are some South Park. They have really pushed the envelope this past year. South Park. Inner Peace started it all. Mountain Lion. we'll give Inner Peace the credit for that. South Park. I don't know if I've ever seen the South Park episode of Jersey Shore. One of my favorite episodes is South Park and the Joseph Smith in the Mormon Church, and they're the ones where they went after Tom Hanks in Scientology. Those are absolutely hilarious to me. But I'm not making fun of anybody for their religious beliefs. I mean, and I know people who are Scientologists, and I know people who are actually Mormon, and they found them funny as well. So you can't laugh at it. There's something wrong. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise does enough things in his own right that are funny. But need to Google that. You won't be disappointed. It's hilarious. I'm sure the Jersey Shore one is too. The guys that write it are ex Mo, I think. You think they're ex Mormon? Might be. You don't know. Tom Cruise being a fudge packer in a fudge factory is absolutely hilarious. It is. I think the actual real life episode of him when he was on the Oprah Winfrey show was absolutely hilarious. If you just turned on that episode that day and watched Tom Cruise acting the way he did that day, or and then right after that you played a loop of him on what was it, Good Morning America, um, arguing with Matt Lauder about medication and Brooke Shields on mental health. If you played those back to back, why anybody would take him seriously after those is beyond me. But that's what he believes in, so good for him. It's not right, but he can believe in whatever he wants. So all, and just like anybody else, with your religion is up to you, and there's no reason for anybody else to have any say in judging you. I found it and watched a blurb. LOL. We'll watch the rest of it later. You Pippadot, you seen both of those? The Oprah and Cruise, two peas in a. Yeah, apparently she's been taking Ozempic. That's how Oprah has lost all that weight is and been able to keep it off is Ozempic. I don't know what that is, but I that came across my desk this past week as well. Support the blue. Support in those brothers and sisters out there in law enforcement. Ozempic. Yeah, I have no idea what it is, Pippadot. Apparently, it's a drug that is actually showing really positive results in helping people lose weight. And also, they've been giving it to people who are drug abusers, especially those who are hooked on opioids. And it's proven to work better than in clinical trials. I don't know if they're actually prescribing for this, so please don't get this wrong. For those who are fighting opioid addictions, heroines, painkillers and stuff like that, opioids, but it's proven a lot better than methadone and other treatments that they had been prescribing in the past. The Ozempic is working a lot better for getting people off of the drugs, and I guess it does something to the brain itself. I have a person that that have been helped by it, a diabetic. Ah, Matt and Trey went to read red carpet event dressed in dresses and tripped on acid. What? Who do that? Very bad. I saw a documentary about it once. You start taking Ozempic, you can't stop. Yeah, but which one's worse? The Ozempic, morbid obesity or obesity, or someone who's addicted to opioids. I mean, there are people who just can't. Doesn't matter what they've tried everything. They tried the 12 step. They tried therapy. They tried rehab and everything else, and it's proven that nothing will get them off of the actual opioids or whatever they were on, and then they start giving them Ozempic, and it's been able to get them off of drugs so they can somewhat have a real life. You got to pick and choose which ones the worser of the evils, and more Americans die from complications of obesity now than ever before. And I'm surprised it's now as opposed to back when McDonald's and everybody was supersizing all their meals. But we like to consume, and that's what they keep on pushing to us 24/7. Consume, consume, consume. Long haul transporters who literally provide me with everything I need. Thank you. That is absolutely true. We can thank Oprah for bringing us Dr. Phil. Yeah, Dr. Phil is actually a misnomer. Well, not a misnomer, but he's not a doctor anymore. He, Dr. Phil, did not renew his license to practice. He does not have his certification to be anything more than a counselor at this point, and that would be by the state law recognizing him as a counselor. But I think he pretty much gave up on all of it. I referred Oprah and Tom Cruise as peas, two peas in a pod. They are. They're wackanuts. I've never been much of a fan of Oprah. I was more of a Phil Donahue fan. If anybody remembers who Phil Donahue is, kind of dating ourselves if we remember who Phil Donahue is, huh? Um, but he's more my style. I don't watch a lot of daytime television. Well, I don't watch any television at all anymore. But there was a time when I did. Oh yes, Phil Donahue. And then when Phil was still on television, we had the shock, and awe of the Morton Downey Jr. And then before he switched over to Fox Television, we had we're getting into Al Capone's vault, Geraldo Rivera, and don't forget Sally Jesse Raphael. See, all this stuff takes room in my brain that I remember all these damn things. Marlo Thomas, the actress. Yes, Marlo Thomas's hubby. You liked Phil. Those were the days. Yeah, weren't they, Susan? I don't know. I'm sure they have other ones that are on today besides Oprah. There have been ones that have come and gone, here and there. But we definitely had some, there was well, not counting, Morton Downey Jr. I mean, he was all about the shock and the awe and the fist fights and putting the Nazis up on stage, with the another group that they hated, that and then the surprise lover, episodes. That was his style. But when Phil Donahue was on, it was an intellectual conversation, with individuals. Yeah, but towards the end, it definitely got a lot racier with Phil because got to have those ratings. If you don't have the ratings, there's no reason for you to be on television. Just saw Marlo on St. Jude's Hospital commercial yesterday. Steve Wilco. You like the Wilco show? I've never really watched Wilco, Kitty Q. I've seen a couple episodes here and there, but it just wasn't my style. You could say. Yeah, Marlo. She did a lot of. Didn't she do a lot more like Disney movies? At least that's how I'm remembering her acting career. You know, more of like the Disney movie kind of family movies. Marlo and Phil have been married a long time. Uh, um, oh, what's his name? I can picture him, but I can't remember his name though. Has been married to Connie Chung. He was the former mayor of Cincinnati, but then he had the talk show. At least Marlo was the girl TV that girl on the TV show. Maury Povich. And Maury and Connie Chung still married? Hell, I don't even know if they're still alive. Got married in 1980. You had to look it up. I like. I'm not sure if that's an L or an I. Statler and Walder. Niece is my neighbor's wife. He went to their wedding. Oh. Maury Povich and Connie Chung. I think they're divorced. I'll look it up. Huh. I just remember that connection between the evening news and daytime talk show. You know, the Muppet Show. Hey, if we're going to talk about the Muppet Show, how about we talk about the Fraggle Rocks? Fraggle Rock. I like Fraggle Rock. Then again, also I like the two grumpy old men in the balcony as well on the Muppet Show. Can't beat Jim Henson. Merv Griffin in the Merv Griffin Show. I used to love watching Morton Downey drama on his talk show. Is he the father of Robert Downey Jr.? It's a good question, right, Kurt? I don't know. The old men puppets were like hecklers. Yeah, on the Muppet Show, the two old grumpy guys in the balcony. Merv Griffin. That brings us back some years. Wow, they are still married. All right. Well, there's our answer. Connie Chung and um, Maury are still married. Anybody want to look up if Robert Downey Jr. is related to Maury? Who is Robert Downey Jr.'s father? I know this much. Robert Downey Jr. is goddamn lucky he's alive. That boy almost killed himself a couple times over with his drug and alcohol use. Yep, that's his dad. Hmm. Well, there's your answer, Reichardt. That is his father. By the time Robert Downey Jr. Did the movie Less Than Zero, that boy was so full into his drug addiction and alcoholism. He was lucky he actually made it through the film. There were several times during the filming of Less Than Zero, they had to stop all production just to get him sober enough to get him on scene. I actually know somebody who worked down that Hollywood set, It's kind of a long, twisted story, but I'll give you the short version of it. A family friend of ours has been in the motion picture industry. He does the sets and stuff like that for movies and television. And he still is to this day. He's still out there. He's in his late 60s now. But anyways, and he's got some stories about different people, over the years. But my mother-in-law, my wife, and a niece flew down there to visit him, and he said he would have somebody pick him up at the airport. I think it was at LAX, and this is a friend of his. He sent the comedian Jack Black to go pick them up, and they thought he was just like a like a not a chauffeur, but someone that he sent to, and they had no idea who he was until Jack Black then took him to the set, of where he was working, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're Jack Black." And then they made the connection, but they just thought he was just another heavy set guy with a beard. That was way back before they made Tenacious D, in the band. Him and Kyle, him and Kyle. Robert Redford went to my cousin's wedding in Sundance, Utah. They are neighbors. Her hubby is the head of the medical center and is pediatric pediatric neurologist. He's separate, conjoined twins. Ooh. I was upset this morning. I watched a YouTube video about how Matthew Perry died, and I'm shocked. Ketamine. Yeah, that's what I read, Pip, about ketamine. But on top of the ketamine, Matthew Perry had an awful alcohol problem on top of it all. And I thought for sure, he got drunk and drowned in the pool, you know. But ketamine, what I read too. It's sad. It is sad. It definitely is sad. My friend's daughter, 8-year old, to lunch with Robert Redford, and she told me they called him Bob. Hmm. Robert Redford. You really liked him? I liked the Friends. It's the only thing I knew Matthew Perry from, that I could, off the top of my head was Friends. I used to watch that show. I used to work at a split shift at the company I worked for at the time. But I'd come home and I'd have lunch, and kind of just chill before I had to go back and work the other half of the shift. But I'd watch an episode of Friends and or something else on TV. Those mainly Friends because it was on at that hour. They called him Bob. Any type of addiction is awful. Yeah, lot of lives have been cut early. Ricard by those who are addicted to different things. And, people become addicted to a lot of things. Not just alcohol or drugs or food. You know, that's got to be the worst of them all. I mean, can you imagine being addicted to food? If there are definitely people out there that are addicted to food, and it's something you have to have every day to survive. Isn't ketamine a drug what they gave the little girl Maya in that recent civil case where she was awarded several million? I don't remember. I'm addicted to food, says Susan Weaver. There are people who are addicted to that. There are people that are addicted. I watched a documentary Matter of fact, about true crime and people who are addicted to true crime who sit at home and they talk with their friends and they believe that they can solve cold cases. They have no experience in law enforcement or anything at all, but they think that they can help solve cases. In a lot of circumstances, at least the people in the documentary said that they believe that they've been able to solve certain cold cases. You know, I'm not saying that law enforcement's laughing at them, but they've come up with some pretty wild theories on how certain cold cases actually happen. My Strange Addiction Show. Oh man, I've seen some of those, Kitty Q. Like the guy who was addicted to gasoline and drank gasoline. Uh, why would you do that? Another one was addicted to his car, made love to his car. Like what? I'm on a seafood diet. You see it, you eat it. I think we all love food. We do. But there really are people who are addicted to the food. There is Overeaters Anonymous. It's a version of a 12-step program, Overeaters Anonymous, for those who are really addicted to food. And I've met a couple people who really have had addictions to food. So, and my heart goes out to them because I mean, how could you be? You're addicted to something you need to have every single day to survive. That's got to be worse. You don't need heroin. You don't need ketamine. You don't need these things. Those are additional to survival. On in life, you may feel like you're going to die if you don't have it, but you could survive on a desert island without it. Well, you ain't going to survive on a deserted island, without food. So, was one addiction where a girl ate yarn. Oh boy, that or the lady who in love with a broken carnival ride. Probably work at her school. Don't know what I ate. Excuse me. One woman ate her husband's ashes. I'll have to admit, I've only seen a couple episodes of My Strange Addiction. The ones that get me are hoarders. That and some of the things and the circumstances that those people on the TV show Hoarders have lived through. I just I couldn't stand that. How there was one where the lady had what 400 bottles of feces in her home, or the guy who lived with thousands of rats. Oh, Hoarders is a wild show. My great grandfather and my grandfather, for a large part, both of them were hoarders. When my grandfather, not my grandfather, my great grandfather, when he passed away, it took me and two uncles about a month just to clear out the living room of the house. I was working there 8 hours a day, going through the living room. He had his he would ride into town, go into town, get a newspaper. He would read the newspaper, and he would put the change from the newspaper on top of it, and then the next paper went on top of that. So you couldn't just go in and throw away stacks of newspaper because there was money, literally money. If he bought it with a 50, the whole change from the 50 went right on top of the paper, and the next day he just kept on repeating it. And there were rooms that were filled full of newspapers from floor to ceiling. It was terrible. And and then he hid things, and he didn't trust banks. He never went to the bank, except for the cash a check, and then everything was either in on him cash wise, or he buried it in coffee cans in the backyard. And it was easy to find the coffee cans that were in metal because we found those with metal detectors. But the ones where he started burying them in the money in plastic, like Folgers cans, and stuff like that. Those ones were, and he didn't put any change in them. It's just dollars. You know, we probably found 30,000 in the house. It was everywhere. Inside of cereal boxes, inside the freezer. He hid money everywhere. But he was definitely a hoarder. It took almost a year to clean up his property. I want to dump a bunch of papers in my uncle's house. Cousin said no. He had money folded into the papers. Yeah, yeah. But my great grandfather, he was a trip. He was definitely a trip. This is sick, but one girl drank nail polish. Oh God, that's gotta do a number on your system. Can you imagine what that would do to your digestive system? The gasoline or nail polish. I mean, I can understand if you ate yarn like that one other one, but that's not going to really do a whole lot to your system, except for well, it's going to be fun coming out the other end. But yeah, mental illness is real. It definitely is. Your dad stored cash everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, my grandfather, lived through, and my great grandfather, they lived through the Great Depression. They didn't trust banks at all, ever. And then it wasn't unheard of for my grandfather. Well, but he had Alzheimer's towards the end, so he didn't have any money on him or even a wallet. But but before the onset of Alzheimer's, he it was uncommon to see him walking around with $4,000 or $5,000 in cash on him. And it wasn't just in his wallet; he had it rolled up in a roll and inside the pocket of his jacket. But he always had a large amount of cash on him. But he didn't feel unsafe about it. He's like, even if somebody robbed him, he always had the idea, it's like, if somebody robs me, at least it's not in the bank where it's all gone tomorrow. But they've all since passed. Aunts and uncles all grew up during the Depression. Learned a lot from them, though, over the years. I'm talking about my dad's dad and so on, on that side of the family. My mom's side of the family, they're all farmers, still are. Still have the family farm in Wisconsin. From my dad's side of the family, not my mom's side of the family. They were from Minnesota. They don't have any farms left. They've all pissed them away because they're a bunch of idiots. But I can say that because they're my family. The Japanese didn't trust banks either. I wouldn't either. If I had to live through something like that, had money and now it's gone because the bank just closed the door and didn't reopen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap up this morning's stream here. I want to thank everyone again for showing up this morning. Again, hopefully, I will post a community tab message if we're not going to be able to do trivia. Okay, if you don't see anything posted to the community, then that means we got it fixed and we're going to be able to do the trivia tomorrow night. But again, I have hope, crossing my fingers, knock on wood, that my daughter's going to be able to figure out what the hell happened to it all and why they are not communicating with each other at all. Because right now the two programs are like, no, you don't exist at all. They won't connect. It's got to be something simple that I'm just not figuring out because, like I said, I spent 10 hours trying to figure it out and fix it. But I hope everyone has a great day today. And I hope to see you all tomorrow. Again, that's at 4 p.m. tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's Sunday because today's Saturday being. But 4 p.m. it's on the DC Sniper, otherwise known as the Beltway Sniper. If you want to Google it and refresh your memory to who these two people are, or you can look up John Allen Mohammed or Lee Boyd Malvo. So everyone have a great day and you stay safe out there on the roads of America, Reichart. And we'll see you all later. Bye. Yeah. And how do I close this? No. I don't even know how to leave. There it is. Bye, everyone.